I'd like to find the road we roam together, swinging along, finding the long way home. We didn't mind the time or place or weather, singing a song, finding the long way home. Remember, I used to sigh at the end of each day, dear.
What is happening, house lovers and explorers? Okay, just like last week's video, we are back in the beautiful suburb of Norwood again. Whoa, you better put your seatbelt on, guys. So here we are on the main strip of Norwood called the Parade, but we are just about to take a left turn onto Church Avenue, as I'm going to show you 3 old homes that are all relevant to the Chesson family history, which we will be delving into as the video goes. And the third location on this little drive is now a vacant lot from the original Explore video, which will tie all this history together. So the right hand side of this little late 1800s maisonette cottage, number 8, is where Mr. James William Chesson first lived as a child. And I'll elaborate on that further into the video as we go. So as we keep moving down Church Avenue here, whoa, look out, there's old Doris. She's on the move, have a look at her. Looks like she's just fled the nursing home and she's heading down to the Parade for a chicken snitty and a schooner. You can't fault her for that, really, can you? Okay, as we come through that little S-bend, we approach William Street. Now this is where we were in last week's video, guys. The old cottages of Bert and Freda, along with another old beautiful villa that was sadly knocked over. Norwood is a very historic old suburb, a very beautiful suburb. And as we cross William Street onto Brown Street, we approach a little lane called Tolmer Place. And all these cottages were built in the 1870s, and I was lucky enough to meet Felicity, the owner of the corner one, number 2, and share details on the history of this cottage, as the Chesson family also resided in her cottage before moving to the next location. And again, I will go into further detail regarding these cottages later, including a great old photo Felicity let me take a snapshot of. So the location we are heading to is 3 Boswell Place, and me and Michael first explored this home when it was still standing back in late 2019. And as we can see here, it was tucked away up in this little dead-end lane. But it was on a huge lot of land, which you can see is now vacant. So I'll show a few pics of the front now, including some Google Street View images. The cottage was built around 1915, and as you can see, was pretty well hidden in a nice oasis of flora and fauna. This old home was part of the Chesson family history for 87 years, dating back to 1930, up until 2017, when the property was sold following the passing of Mr. James William Chesson. So what we will do now, guys, is wind back the clock 3 years to 2019 when we first explored this home. And that was well before I knew anything about the history of the home. And then I will add and tie all that history together, along with the cottages already shown on the way here. Then after that I will show a short follow-up when the old cottage was in the throes of being pulled apart for demolition, just to say goodbye to the old girl. And yes, there is another old home after this cottage to explore at the end too, guys. Okay, so let's get into it. I hope you all enjoy. Okay guys, check out all the old trimmings on the front, complete with your flowers. Bullnose veranda. Now I've also spotted an extra little side door that goes over here, so we're going to check what it is. No, it's locked, guys. Locked shut, that one. Oh well, it's probably like a little sleep out hut. An extra little sleep out hut. The rain's really set in, guys, because we're going to have to stand on the veranda for a while. What's happening, guys? Check this place out. This place was built in 1910 and it's up for demolition because it sits on a huge property, well, yard, lot, and it'll be gone soon, so we're documenting it. I kind of knew about this one from a few days ago, found it, so we're here today and we're going to document it with Michael again, so let's take a look around. We did notice this big old double person handsaw from back in the day. When hard labour was the everyday norm. Check out the colours though, guys. We'll get in there. You'll see more in there soon, but this place has been altered a fair bit, unfortunately, but it's still very old and interesting. Check out this room though. It is literally only made for a bath and a shower, which is no longer there. And the basin, can't actually walk in there because the tub's in the way. And cramped down this tight little hallway is the toilet. It's another rainy day, guys, so you might hear the nice sound of the rain on the roof too as we go through. Check out this kitchen though. What about the green? Really old cupboards and one tap only. Old. Not too bad. You can see the ceiling, guys, has had those square insulation tiles added. And there's a whole series of matching carpets. And one of the ones of this era that actually doesn't have a hallway arch. The home's not really set out like that. It's not as long as some other ones that have a hallway, so. But I've still noticed it's got the old hardware. As I said, 1910 this one was built. Got the old newspaper here. Turn the light down a bit. Tuesday, September 9, 1975. Baby oil, 59 cents. Tucker box dog food, 19 cents. Cheap day at the supermarket back then. Well, compared to now anyway. Yeah. As you'll notice, this home is a series of different colours. And I'll leave it up to you to decide whether you think they match. Because look at this one. The colour, it's almost like a pumpkin soup, it reminds me of. Well, at least the carpet kind of matches the wall in here. And the front door, maybe there was stained glass there. It's a shame the original features haven't been retained in this one. Oh, although, that's a bit different. That's like a new fireplace cover. That's almost Art Deco-y, isn't it? And again, they've altered the ceiling with new plaster, and they've added fluoro lights there, so no ceiling roses. There's your TV antenna aerial cable. And there's a peek outside, guys. I don't want to draw too much attention with the light though. So yeah, it's not a huge home, but it is still a nice example of what was going on. I'll show you the mantle here. Not sure what's going on with these clothes. We don't think it was from a squatter. Maybe they were just left behind in a cupboard. Someone's taken the cupboard. Spider-Man. There's more down there. I'd say they were in a children's chested dresser or something. Old school TV, it looks like late 90s. Now if the rain dies down, we'll show the backyard because it goes way, way back. Alright guys, the rain has died off a bit, so just show you around the back area. Look at the old school piping and the phone bell. That bell's connected to the phone line, so when Ma or Pa's way down the end of that yard tinkering around the garden or whatever, they can hear the phone ring. And here's the old laundry. Very low ceiling. And this thing here with a long pipe on it is actually a pipe that goes into a natural bore, a well, and you can connect the lever at the top and you pump the water up from the bore. So we'll take a quick walk down the back. The yard is huge here, guys. Got the shed, a back shed, one of them anyway. It's the work shed. The old, oh, there's the old well. Okay, that's the old natural bore down there, guys. I'll try and get a shot. There you go. The camera wants to focus on the wood. You can see way down there anyway, guys. Pretty cool. And this pretty much goes to the back of the fence. Got to show you the bird aviary. Would have been an amazing place to live. Lots to do in this backyard.
Indeed, the Chesson family must have thought this was a fantastic place to live, as it remained in the family for 87 years. With 3 generations residing here over that period. So with that said, let's take a look back at the timeline of how the Chessons came to live here. So through my research of the street directories, I discovered that Boswell Place did not exist until 1915, which is when a Mr. F. Butcher first appeared at number 3, suggesting this was the year the cottage was actually built. Mr. Butcher stayed here until 1930, which is when Mr. H. Chesson took over residency, as seen here in the directory. But this is where we need to rewind and revisit the cottages I showed in Tolmer Place earlier in the intro, as this is where Mr. H. Chesson first lived. And in 1918 he first lived at number 10, which is the cottage up the end of this lane. But only 1 year later he had moved into number 2, the one on the corner here, which is now Felicity's home, who I met while taking these photos from out front. As we got talking about the cottages and their history, she told me that she had done extensive research on Tolmer Place too, and that number 4 next to hers is actually known as Millie's house. Millie lived here in this cottage for 80 years up until her death in 2007 at the age of 94. These Google images are from 2007, quite low in resolution compared to 2009 and later. But around this time, the cottages here in Tolmer Place got new owners and got new life breathed into them, including well done extensions which retain all the character of the original cottages. And as mentioned earlier, I was lucky enough to see inside number 2 on the corner, which is Felicity's. She extended the building at the back with a huge extra living area and loft area, along with a new kitchen and double garage. But again, the original cottage area was retained, although it was freshened up with restoration. Felicity told me that the cottages were all built in the 1870s. And check this out, guys. Here is an old photo of her cottage back in the early 30s, looking south down Brown Street towards where Boswell Place is situated. How cool is that, guys? You can see that double-storey shed next door is still standing today also. I was able to give the details regarding the Chessons living here to Felicity, and that Mr. H. Chesson then moved to 3 Boswell Place, in which she can actually recall chatting to James Chesson, the last owner, a few times before he actually passed away. So, a big thanks to Felicity for the photo, as our chat was a very historically productive one. And it's amazing how pieces of a puzzle just fall into place when you're out cruising around the neighbourhood. So, as mentioned, Mr. H. Chesson moved into 3 Boswell Place in 1930, and he was listed there up until 1950, when it seems he passed away, as from the following year, in 1951, a Mrs. V. Chesson is listed, most likely his widow, who remained at the home for another 2 years after that. In 1954, no names were actually listed at 3 Boswell Place, but the following year, William Horace Chesson took over ownership. I could not find much at all in Ancestry.com regarding the Chessons, other than that William Horace served in the Second World War, and William Horace was listed at the address right up until 1973, when the last directory was printed. And it was in this year that James William Chesson also appears listed at the address. James William was the last Chesson to own and reside at the cottage, and he passed away around 2017. In 1999, the land was transferred from William Horace to James, which may suggest William passed away around this time also. So logic would suggest that James is the son of William, but this is unclear, as we now need to go back to another document I found that leads back to the very first cottage I pointed out in the opening intro at 8 Church Avenue. This document shows the birth date and the school admission date for young James back in 1941, who at this stage was 5 years old, as he was born in August of 1935. But as we can see here, the listed parent name is William J. Chesson. So is this a typo and the second initial J is meant to be actually an H for William Horace? Or is this perhaps a brother or cousin? We may never know unless the remote chance family members ever watch this video and comment. But either way, William Chesson was listed at 8 Church Avenue from 1935 to 1944, but with only the first initial of W. Chesson. So you can see now all these locations are tied into the history of the cottage at 3 Boswell Place, where James started living in 1973, right up until his death in 2017. It would have been fantastic to get some more precise and clear picture of the Chesson's family tree, but I guess at least from the info that was available, we can enjoy the fact that this cottage was in their family for 87 years. Also, all the twists and turns I got to take along the way in the research process. Okay, let's now take a little revisit of the home when it was being prepped for demolition. And it very much does seem like the clothing that was placed around the mantle in the initial explore suggests that squatters were actually starting to move into this home, as you will see. Okay, let's go. Alright, I'm back at this place. Fast forward about 18, 20 months. And squatters moved in here, left everything behind, and the place is now just about to be demolished. So I actually sort of thought I'll come back. I actually came back to this place maybe a year ago to film it because of the camera settings. Weren't ideal the last time I filmed it. And I noticed there was bike tracks in the mud leading all the way up the side of the house. So I didn't actually come in here because I thought, yep, there's squatters in here. And compared to the lack of personal belongings in here last time, they have definitely set up in here. But the salvage crew have now started ripping up the floor and throwing them out the front. So the old girl will be knocked over very soon. And you can see the little excavator sitting out in the front yard. So I just thought I'd do a little closeout video and show you what happened here and what is about to be what is about to happen, I should say. But yeah, it looks like they had a whole bunch of stuff here. It's a good little spot hidden away. So, the old girl at this point is in a sorry state, ready for that devil machine to do its thing. So, before we move on to the next old home to explore, I will leave you with a little outro of the old Chesson Cottage that they loved so much over the years. Alright guys, this next old home is also not too far from Boswell Place and the Norwood Parade, as it was situated at 227 McGill Road, Maylands, and it was built way back in the 1880s. And I've had this footage on file for a little while now, and I was able to find out some information on the history, and there was a long-time owner, Mr. G. Macri, who was a railway employee, and he lived here from the early 60s up until a few years ago when it seems he passed away. Okay, let's take a snoop around this old girl. Let's go.
What is happening, guys? Alright, there's going to be a bit of traffic noise, so hopefully you can hear me. Now this old place is going to be demolished. Listen to the birds up there. So we're going to check it out. I did notice one of the windows is open up the side. I haven't gone past there. That front door's locked. The screen door is locked, but the other door is open. You can see straight up the hallway. But yeah, built 1900 from memory, but I'm going to try and dig up some history on this one too, guys. It's an old sandstone build, very, very solid old home. Now the camera's probably not going to see too well through the screen there, but very long shotgun hallway. I wouldn't be surprised if this one was built around 1890 and had these pillars added maybe around the 30s. Power's gone, so let's go, guys. Unless the back door is open, probably have to get through the window. Trespassers will be prosecuted, yes, I'm aware of that. But this place will be knocked over in a couple of weeks. Now that window's open. And so's that one. It goes into the bathroom. Well, the other one's definitely a better option than this one. Looks as though there was a shed there. Now there are shops over there. No, that one is locked. Yeah. Looks like we're going through the window. See someone walking over against that wall. Someone's head. Sounds like someone blowing leaves. All right, into the pink room, guys. Alrighty, we are in. Flick on the light. Actually, you can...
That is an Art Deco ceiling pattern. Quite recent upgrade or additions. That's even a reproduction of the old type. All right. Just as I thought. Beautiful old Victorian archway. Man, this is a long hallway. The front door is actually missing. We'll start from the front door and work our way down as if we came in the front, guys. I won't be able to shut the front door because it's no longer attached. And it's locked with a key anyway. It's deceptively bigger than what it looks from the front, definitely. It looks more like a smaller cottage when you first see the front. But this is a huge home. These ceilings are definitely 30s, 40s redos. They've been redone for sure because they're all Art Deco fixtures. Oh, I just sneezed. Got the mantle. Oh wow, there's an old horseshoe. Man, that's old. I wonder what that... Maybe it was put in the fireplace. Maybe they were shaping it. Maybe they threw it on the coals to warm it up, to start shaping it, and it just stayed in there forever. That's just a theory. I have found cool old things in the soot of fireplaces before, including an old letter from 1947. Yep, they've put the reproduction plastic ones on. No mantle, and again, Art Deco ceiling work. And you can see where when they redid the ceilings, it's now covering the vent. So they lowered the ceilings at some point around the 30s and 40s. Yeah, I will try and dig up as much history on this one as well and add it in. I would have loved to have seen the old mantles. Obviously they were nice for them to take them straight away. Oh, nice. One's left. They were probably all like this one, guys. Yeah, they are definitely the old Victorian style. Now that's the front room we were in before. Just wondering if that door was put in at some point. Yeah, I honestly think that door was added at a later point. Definitely, you can see where they've just sawn off the skirting boards and haven't really rounded it off with anything. Now there's the pink room we got through the window in. Nice old hardware. Alright, this looks to be all the kitchen and wet rooms. And this looks like an addition. This is a lean-to. It's leaning in towards the middle of the home. Down this way. This is all concrete. This is all concrete too, so this is definitely, this room has been added. Yep, this originally is the back door, and there would have been a wet room here and the kitchen. This little section's original. This would have been the back door. That part was added. Was probably a courtyard there originally, a little outside area. Maybe that's where the old outhouse sat. But look at this kitchen. This has not seen any upgrades, probably from maybe the 60s. That's probably early 80s. That's probably an 80s oven. But everything else, that colour, 60s. The paint job, probably from the, who knows, from the 40s, I reckon. You tell me, guys, what do you think? Look at the hallway though. Now the bathroom. Nice deep tub. Now, judging by the sink,
That is a 60s, late 50s, definitely 60s. So nothing has been upgraded since the 60s in this place. There's the same olive green that was in the kitchen as well. Late 50s, early 60s I'm thinking. Well, what have we got? Murray Restaurant. Invitation, Melbourne Sydney Express Diner. Travellers to Adelaide are invited to enjoy an a la carte dinner with friends in the Murray Restaurant before boarding the Overland. Let's see what's inside. Looks quite old. There's no date. Just for kicks, I'll do some research. Hey, check it out. That guy with the leaf blower was just standing right over that fence there. He kind of looked my way and he stopped. I'll try and get a zoom in on him. The camera's focusing on the fly screen. No, he's standing there leaning on a. On something, a broom or something. He's kind of looking this way, but I don't know if he's actually seeing me. Now he's staring off over the other side. I think they're obviously doing some work over in that car park. Alright. Now this is the laundry and the loo. Hot water service. I think this probably was a rental, used as a rental, either that or a very long time older for it not to have any updates. Well, not many updates, certainly not a renovation. The old mirror. And that's the back door. I think that's deadlocked. So it looks as though I'll probably have to get out through the window. And we have seen a lot. There's an original, that's still the old bakelite, original one. Alright guys, we've seen the entire home. Now the only thing up that side is a fence, so there's nothing around there. Alright, so if I just added all the history, I hope you enjoyed it. It's always nice to put some sort of names, faces if possible, information that adds to the story of these old places. And obviously, to close the video, I'm going to get a shot of this mantle. So thanks for watching guys, jump in the comments if you want to, and I'll cruise on to the next one, wherever that is, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching guys, cheers, bye.
Remember, I used to sigh at the end of each day, dear.